Good morning, and welcome to Barbara's Bulletin. I'm your host, Barbara, and we're glad you're joining us today for a comprehensive look at the latest developments around the world. As we begin this episode, our focus turns to a critical situation unfolding in the Middle East, where recent U.S. strikes have targeted key nuclear sites in Iran. This action has sparked widespread debate and concern about the potential consequences for regional stability and global security. To understand the complexity of this issue, let's delve into the details. The strikes aimed at Iran's nuclear program have raised questions about the extent of the damage inflicted on these facilities and the implications for Iran's ability to pursue its nuclear ambitions. According to reports from various sources, including Iranian officials and international observers, the targeted sites include Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, all of which are believed to be integral to Iran's uranium enrichment activities. The Iranian government has stated that while the attacks have caused significant damage, they will not deter the country's nuclear development. Meanwhile, experts in the field have expressed concerns about potential environmental hazards due to the release of radioactive materials, although the International Atomic Energy Agency has reported no notable increase in radiation levels in the region. It's essential to consider multiple perspectives on this issue. On one hand, proponents of the strikes argue that they are necessary to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons capability, citing concerns about regional and global security. On the other hand, critics of the action warn about the potential for escalation and the humanitarian consequences of targeting such facilities. As we navigate this complex landscape, it's crucial to prioritize fact-based information and to engage in thoughtful dialogue that considers all viewpoints. The situation in Iran is not only a matter of international relations, but also has significant implications for the people living in the affected areas and beyond. In our upcoming segments, we will continue to explore this story, including discussions with experts on nuclear policy, Middle East affairs, and environmental safety. We'll examine the historical context leading up to these recent developments and look ahead to possible future scenarios. At Barbara's Bulletin, we are committed to providing you with in-depth analysis and balanced reporting. We believe that understanding the world's most pressing issues requires a nuanced approach that acknowledges complexity and seeks clarity. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're taking a closer look at the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, where tensions remain high between Israel and Palestine. According to recent reports, another 10 Israeli hostages are set to be released from Gaza shortly, as announced by U.S. President Donald Trump. This development comes amidst indirect talks between Israeli and Hamas negotiators in Doha, Qatar, aimed at securing a 60-day ceasefire. The proposed truce would involve the return of 10 hostages held in Gaza, along with the bodies of 18 others, over a period of 60 days. In exchange, Israel would release a number of detained Palestinians. However, it's essential to note that agreement on this proposal has proven elusive so far. Meanwhile, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza continues to worsen, with over 58,600 Palestinians killed since the conflict began, according to Gaza health authorities. The Israeli campaign has also resulted in significant displacement and destruction of infrastructure, leaving many without access to basic necessities like food and shelter. The United Nations has expressed concerns about reduced access to suffering civilians, citing declined visa renewals for senior UN aid officials, including the head of office for the occupied Palestinian territories, Jonathan Whittle. The organization has also reported near-daily shootings near aid distribution sites, resulting in over 800 Palestinian deaths since May. It's crucial to acknowledge the complexities and nuances of this conflict, which have led to immense human suffering on both sides. As we strive for a balanced understanding, it's essential to recognize the need for a peaceful resolution that addresses the concerns and rights of all parties involved. As we continue to monitor the situation, we'll provide updates and insights to help you stay informed. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I want to bring your attention to a developing story in the Middle East. A ceasefire has been agreed upon between Israel and Syria, following recent violence in the region. According to reports, Syrian President al-Shara has urged all parties to respect the ceasefire, which was brokered after clashes between Syrian government forces and Druze fighters in the city of Swaida. The conflict has resulted in significant loss of life, with over 590 people killed, according to monitors. The situation remains tense, despite the ceasefire, with reports of continued unrest in the region. The international community is watching closely, as the humanitarian situation continues to deteriorate. It's worth noting that the Syrian government has agreed to allow Israeli troops limited access to the area in an effort to reduce tensions. However, some analysts are skeptical about the long-term prospects for peace, given the complex web of alliances and rivalries at play in the region. The United Nations and other international organizations have called for calm and restraint, urging all parties to work towards a peaceful resolution. As the situation continues to unfold, it's essential to consider the perspectives of all those involved, including the Syrian government, Israeli authorities, and the Druze community. It's also important to acknowledge the humanitarian crisis that has resulted from the conflict, with many civilians caught in the crossfire. The international community must come together to provide support and aid to those affected, while also working towards a lasting peace. As we conclude today's segment, I want to emphasize the importance of staying informed about global events and considering multiple perspectives. By doing so, we can foster greater understanding and empathy, which are essential for building a more peaceful and just world. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay engaged.